Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about The End by Kayleigh Dobbs. This is from Black Shuck Books, and it is number 35 in their Black Shuck Shadows series. A bunch of little tiny books. They all have this same aesthetic. Full disclosure, this book was sent to me by the author, and Kayleigh Dobbs is my YouTube bestie. So it's up to you to decide if you're going to trust what I have to say about this book. And this book is a short story collection. There are 6 stories, and they all deal with essentially the end of the world in one way or another. And the book starts out with a dedication, and it says, "This collection is dedicated to Periphery, whose music takes me on epic imaginary journeys. The concept for this collection and every story in it is directly inspired by them and wouldn't exist otherwise, and I have no idea who Periphery is, so that had no bearing on what I thought of these stories." As usual, with short stories, I find it difficult to discuss too much because I don't want to give anything away, but I'm going to go over each story really quickly, make some points about them. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. It's a nice mix of very dark stories and humorous stories, similar to Kayleigh Dobbs' first short story collection, Corpsing, although that had, I think, the darkest story I've ever read from her, in my opinion, but it also had a mix of dark and humorous. And of course, even the humorous stories in this book are dark because, again, end of the world. But this is what we have in the book. The first story is called The Claim They Stake, and it's essentially about a guy who's involved in the sort of lizard people conspiracy theory and the effect that it's going to have on his life. Although it's a quick short story, it takes place over, I don't know, an hour or so. So it's not like his whole life, just this bit of his life. Really enjoyable story. I like conspiracy theories. And Kayleigh Dobbs does something in this story that I enjoy when I come across it, which is she drops this creepy line in just the middle of a paragraph, very casually thrown in there. And for me, that makes it even creepier. Some authors might take a line like this and have it on its own. It's its own paragraph, one sentence paragraph, to sort of emphasize the creepiness of it, the weirdness of it. But here it's just in the middle of everything else, and it's on the first or second page. I was thinking about it, and it's like if someone's giving you a tour of a house, and they're like, here's the living room. They're describing everything. This is a nice little reading nook that I have over here. This lamp gives you great light for reading. It's got a lampshade made out of human skin. And over here we have the kitchen with all the modern amenities that you'd hope to find it. And you're just like, wait, hold on. Hold on. What was that you said just so casually a second ago about the reading nook and the lamp? And that's what I felt when I was reading this. And I feel like Kayleigh Dobbs did this in a story or two in Corpsing as well. But for me, I find it very effective because it just takes you by surprise. Just in the middle of everything, this just weird sentence that doesn't quite fit in your brain. So very effective and a fun story. The Claim They Stake. Right, The Claim They Stake. Next up, Just Like Baking. So Kayleigh Dobbs did a live video on release day for the book and did a reading of the beginning of this story, Just Like Baking. And it really had me champing at the bit to get the book and finish the story. Wanted to know where it was going to go. It's about a coven of witches who are performing a ritual during this big storm. And one of them is forced to include her younger sister. And this is one of the more lighthearted stories, even though, again, end of the world, things get dark, but a lot of fun. Catch Fire It's about a married couple, who are going to the wife's uh, sister's house for a Christmas dinner. I believe it's Christmas. And they have a very, very strained relationship. The husband thinks that his wife should just cut her sister out of her life. And things aren't quite what they expected when they go to this Christmas dinner. Um, I enjoyed this story. I was going to make a point, but I'll get to it after I've talked about the rest of these. Dead, another fun one. Again, that gets dark. And I don't think I'm giving anything away since this is essentially the first sentence, but this woman sits up out of her corpse and then things happen. Now, that might sound like this is going to be a ghost story, and well, technically it is because the main character is a ghost. That's not what this story is about, and it's fun, and the character's perspective is great because you just have this person who's essentially woken up dead, and what that entails in this other greater story that's going on. A lot of fun. Omega, the penultimate story, is the main character is this woman who's part of a church group, religious group, led by Pastor Bob. And just imagine it's a story about the end of the world that's about a woman in a religious group. Where do you think this is going to go? I'm not sure it's going to go where you think it is, but I really like this. I really like what happens at the end. Just for me, as a sick and twisted person, I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not one of the funny stories, but it's the kind of sick and twisted thing that I like. And then the final story is called The End, and I really can't say much about it because it's not really a story. It's a thing. It's in second person. It's talking to you. And again, stories about the end of the world, so this is one you're just going to have to read for yourself. So 6 really entertaining stories. This is a 4.5 star out of 5 book. It's the Christmas season. Feeling generous. I rounded it up to 5. I gave it 5 stars, but my rating is 4.5. I'm not rating it 5 for you fine folks who actually watch these videos, because 5 is, the best. 6, when I break the laws of mathematics and give something 6 out of 5 stars, that's the absolute best out of the best. Something that just blew me away, and it's a very rare occurrence. But 5 stars is just slightly below the best of the best. A book that's just fantastic, but didn't have that extra little quality that broke math. So 4.5 means I really, really liked it. And I did. One of the great things that Kayleigh Dobbs can do with her short stories is build the characters in this small amount of space. There are some authors, when writing short stories, that are just all about pushing the plot forward to get to the end, and at the expense of character development. And I think in every one of these stories, despite the limited page count, Kayleigh Dobbs is able to give us great characterization. Not all authors can do that. Some are great short story authors, some not so much. I put Kayleigh Dobbs in that group of great short story authors. My one negative thing to say is there's not enough. There's not enough stuff here. Again, it's a little tiny book. Corpsing, her first short story collection, is, I think the overall dimensions this way. It's bigger, but it's not much thicker. I want more Kayleigh Dobbs. I'd like bigger short story collection or a novella or a novel, or give me 1,000-page magnum opus. Um, Kayleigh Dobbs writes great characters, writes interesting stories, writes great twists and turns, keeps the story flowing naturally, and I want to see more. Well, I want to read more. Um, so of course that's not really a negative thing. Wanting more. The negative is I don't have it and I want it. I think that's everything that I need to say about The End by Kayleigh Dobbs from Black Shuck Books. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this. It's a great mix of things. I think every apocalypse is different. It's a lot of fun. So all of that being said, the question for this video is, what is your favorite apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic story? And as a little side question, if you're not a fan of the subgenre, let me know, and let me know why. What is it? Why don't you like apocalyptic stories? I do believe that Kayleigh Dobbs' favorite subgenre of horror is the apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic story. So for me, and I really need to start thinking ahead, right off the top of my head, Mad Max comes to mind. I really like the original Mad Max movie. I know most people think, well, it used to be Road Warrior. I think the majority of people thought Road Warrior was the best. But now I think Fury Road may have overtaken it, but it's a bit divisive. And as much as I like Road Warrior and Fury Road, we won't talk about Thunderdome. I really there's a special place in my heart for the original Mad Max. If we're talking apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic, so not just the post, The Rising by Brian Keene is probably my favorite zombie novel. I absolutely love that book. But Earthworm Gods, another Brian Keene. Giant killer worms and shark men. Come on, that's right up my alley. What else? See, I didn't think ahead. I'm trying to think of other apocalypses. Zombies come to mind. So you have Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. I'm not sure Night of the Living Dead quite counts yet, since it's the very, very beginning. But Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead by George Romero, fantastic. Apocalyptic stories. I'm trying to think of like nuclear wastelands and things. The different kinds of apocalypses that one can have. I'm glancing around, trying to see if any books jump out. But nothing's jumping out. My head, I got a little bit of a headache, so the brain's not working quite right. So I'm going to we'll go with Mad Max, The Rising, and Earthworm Gods. And I'm sure there's plenty, I know there's plenty that I'm just completely forgetting. So please remind me. Let me know your favorites and remind me of what I should be thinking of in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. I told you my brain's not working right. I forgot how to spell my own name. And if you're on Blue Sky, I am @ELSmith. That's all I have for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.